Thank you, gentlelady, for yielding me this time. I was a bit disturbed earlier when I heard the reference made to this side as being anti-military. I was married to the same woman for 58 years. When I got elected to Congress, we sat down and she said to me, whatever committees you serve on, I want you to serve on the Veterans Affairs Committee. And I did what she asked me to do. But she asked me that because her uncle, Joseph Henry Washington, was in the Navy. Joseph Henry Washington was on the USS Arizona on that fateful day, December 7th, 1941. That's not having disrespect for the military. She had high respect. And I had to take her to Pearl Harbor. And she wanted to go to Pearl Harbor because she wanted to see the book that she heard existed, to make sure that her mother's brother's name was on that book. Now, Joseph Henry Washington would never discuss with me. And I don't know what it did, but I do know, some of you may remember the TV show, Ralph Edwards, This Is Your Life. Yeah. Joseph Henry Washington was on that show. He was on that show. But he would never talk to me about his experiences in the Navy. He just said to me one time, now, James, they were too painful to share with you. We know that history. We know what those men went through. And when he came back from that war, he could not get the GI Bill to build a house. He could not get the GI Bill to go to college, and he never did. But he got a job at the Brooklyn Navy shipyard, now closed. He never married, never had children, but he literally adopted my late wife and her sister and educated them. That's not any disrespect for the military. He loved the military. But he had experiences that we all know about. And we shouldn't disrespect those experiences. I campaigned with Jackie Robinson. I knew Jackie. When he was VP of Chock full of Nuts, we campaigned together. He shared with me about his experiences in the military. He shared with me about his experiences with Branch Richard when he broke the color barrier. He was bitter about those experiences. We were never sure. And so when you remove his name from the website, that is showing disrespect. When you say to one of the most decorated soldiers ever, C.Q. Brown, the second person. Now, a lot of people think Colin Powell was the first four-star general. No, it was Chapter James. Before Colin Powell, it was Chapter James. Before C.Q. Brown, it was Colin Powell. We should not disrespect these guys' experiences. We ought to be honoring them. And for one of the least qualified secretaries of state to fire one of the most qualified generals ever to serve, C.Q. Brown, and say he's not deserving of being honored. That's what disrespect is. Not people over here who see their sons, their parents, their siblings, their relatives, so disrespected in history and not be able to benefit from the GI Bill that was supposed to help them get reacclimated to this country. And you all heard me give the statistic the other day. The first 3,252 of those awards given out, only 2 went to people of color. So they can pass on to their children the equity in those homes that white soldiers got. And we sit here as if that should be treated as normal. And so I just want to say as I close, when I studied the history of this, I mentioned I'm number 9. Number 6, 7, and 8 who served in this body all got indicted and all went to jail. Everybody talk about Robert Smalls. Robert Smalls was imprisoned. Why? As one of his opponents said to him, Smalls, we don't want to hurt you, but we got to have this seat. You lead the seat, and you'll be fine. That's what he went through. And you will tell me that we're going to sit here and disregard those sacrifices so that you and I can sit here free. They all went to jail on trumped-up charges. Number 9, 8, who I succeeded, died in Chicago having skipped bail to keep from spending 5 years in jail for nothing. Let's respect those sacrifices and stop pretending nothing like that ever happened. It did happen. I'll yield back.